So we look at index numbers. So basically, an index number is a number that measures, okay? The number measures the relative change in set of measurements or over time. So
Yes.
it can be an index number about prices. It can be an index number about quantities of goods or values of what? Of goods, okay? So in short, it just tries to express some measurements as a fraction of some value. That's what relative, okay?
Yes.
So the common price indices that we have are the consumer price index. This measures the overall price change, or in other words, it measures the inflation rate, the inflation rate. So with the consumer price index, what usually happens is that you get the different goods, right? You create a basket of goods. Now, what I mean by creating a basket, I mean you find out, like, on average, the kinds of goods that the households use, right? The needs,
Mm.
the basic needs. Obviously, you say every household will have what, those just key basic things. Then you put
Yes.
them together and ask how much are they costing?
Yes.
Okay, the price, transport, okay, just all the basic needs. All right. You value them. After valuing the basic needs, and then what you get, the aggregate price, yeah, the aggregate price thereof is what is called the CPI. Okay, did you get it?
Yes.
Then the producer price index, this one actually measures the average change, okay, over time in the selling prices received by domestic producers for their output. So what happens is that the producer price index, yeah, this one measures the, what does it do? Okay, it measures, okay, you look at the issue, the things from the producer point of view. Okay, in terms of the pricing, like how much do they receive for from whatever they sell? Okay, when you get that, this is what is known as the producer price index. But from the consumer point of view, you look at how much do we pay as consumers, okay, for us to get these commodities. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So the quantity indices always range from industrial and mining index. So the first one is for the industrial index. So this one gives us the measure of change in industrial output compared to a past reference point. So you're trying to compare with a reference point in the past. So you say, okay, how much did we produce maybe in that other year? How much have we produced now? So you are always comparing with some point in time, like some previous point in time. Okay. So
Yes.
there is also the mining index. This is where you measure the change in the mineral production that should be compared to some specific base period. So you're comparing the time, the quantity of minerals that have been produced. For example, if you're a copper producing company, you ask yourself, how much copper have we produced? This year? And how much did we produce that other year? So it could have some year of reference. It could be 2 years before, or, or 2 years previously, and or maybe 5 years or 1 year previous, but it's just some year previously. Did you get that?
Mm.
Now, the simple index numbers is actually a ratio of two values of a variable expressed as a percentage, okay? It's a ratio. So the way the ratio means a fraction. So it's a fraction of two values. It could be the prices or quantities or values, right? That should be expressed as what? Percentages. So you have those for prices and those for quantity. So number one, you have this one. This one is for price. So this is a simple price index. So the simple price index is equal to the price in this new year divided by the price in that other year times what? Times 100. Did you get that?
Mm.
For example, during a back to school promotion sale, a pair of school shoes that sold at 22 before now sells at what? 18. So the new price is what? 18 over the previous price was what? Was 22. This is this one you have to put it. Always the previous is down the times what? Times 100%. Okay. So 18 over 22 times 100. You're following, right? Hello? So it's always the new price. The new price will always be on top. New price, PN is the new price over P0 is the previous price times what? Times 100. Did you get that? So the new price is 18. So you say 18 over what? 22, which is the odd price. Multiply all that by 100, and you should be fine. So you get 81.82%, which simply means that the prices in this respect have what? Have gone down. If you find a number, by the way, this answer that you find, you should subtract 100% from it. So you say 81.82 minus what? 100. So you find some negative, you find the negative 18, right? Negative 18.18%. This implies that the prices have reduced by what? 18.18%. From the answer that you find, subtract what? 100%. Did you get that?
Pardon?
From the answer that you find, you should remove 100%. Yes. Then if you find a negative answer, it means the price is reduced. Okay? But if you find a positive answer, it means that the prices did what? Did increase.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So, and what you find again next, we can have an example for simple quantities, just like the for price. So quantity in the new period over quantity in the old period times 100. Okay? Our example says the annual production of maize in kernel box 1 for the year, in the year 1997, they produce what? 2,000. Okay, oh, sorry. They produce 500. Let me read the question. Annual production of maize in kernel box 1 for the years of 1997 and 2000. These are 2 years, right? We have 1997 and 2000, right? There were 240 metric tons respectively, which means 40 was for 2000, right? 500 was for 1997. Hello? These are quantities. We are saying that the first quantity, okay, in the previous year, which is 1997, you produced 500 metric tons. Then the following year, which is 2000, then you produce what?
40.
The preceding year, you produce 40,000. Oh, sorry, 40 metric tons. Did you get that? So the question is, can you determine the change in what? In maize production. So the formula is this one. We need the quantity of the new period over the quantity of the old period multiplied by what? By 100. So the quantity of the new period is 40, right? 500 of the old one. The old period is 500, right? Which is 1997.
Yes.
We're looking at the quantity of 2000 divided by the quantities of 1997 multiplied by what? By 100. Okay?
Yes.
And what you get is what? Is 80%. So 8%. So 40 times or 40 divided by 500 times 100. Okay? And what do we have? We have that. 5 into 40 is 8 what? 8%.
Yes.
8%. So this 8% now minus what? 100%, isn't it?
Yes.
I told you that the
Yes.
answer you should know it's 100. That gives you negative what? 92%. This it means that the annual production of maize fell by 92%, meaning it reduced by 92% from 1997 to 2000. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. It's okay. Then the weighted indices are good now. So these ones we are dealing with were not weighted. To be weighted simply means they were not factoring in some other factors which affect production, which affect price. Okay, so there are no weights attached. So usually when you are dealing with the weighted uh, indices, you deal with it 2 periods. You usually have the base period weighting and the current period weighting. So the base period weighting, this is when you use the prices or the quantities of the previous period, okay, of the previous period. Then current period weighting, this is when you use the prices and the quantities of the new period. So I'm saying that here, what happens is that you use the prices and the quantities of the what? The new period. That's current period weighting. In this one, you use the prices of the other period, the old period. Did you get that? Hello?
Yes, I can get you.
Did you get what I said? That's my question.
Yes.
Okay. If you did get that, so you will understand that the base period weights indices are called what? Last year's indices. So
Indices.
the last year's indices are called the base period weighted indices. So in short, you are using the base year. You're using the base year to calculate the parameters here. But the per share indice. So when dealing with per share, you're dealing with the current period weighted indices. Okay. With per share, you're using the new figures, both the quantities and the prices. You're following, eh? The prices and the quantities are for the what? For the new period. Okay. We are dealing with the 2022 and 2020. So under per share, you'll be using the quantities of 2022 and the prices for what? For 2022. Did you get that? That's under per
Yes.
share. But under last year's, this is where you're using the quantities of 2022. You're using the quantities of 2022. Okay.
Yes.
We're using the quantities of 2022, but you're using the prices of what? Of 2020. So the prices when you're dealing with last year's, the prices that you use are for the base period, in short. So this can be equivalent to nominal GDP and the real GDP. Okay, whereas the real GDP is given as what? Is equal to the last year's index, where you are calculating the weights using the base period weights. Calculating the GDP using this year period. Then for the current period weights, here is this can be related to, you can relate it to nominal GDP, okay, where we are multiplying the quantities and the prices of the goods and the services using the prices and the quantities of this year. Like, so if you want to get the nominal GDP for 2022, we'll be seeking to find the quantities and the prices for 2022. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. So you have last year's index and the per share index. So I've known the difference. Get that difference.
Yes.
So the best period weighted indices are called last year's, and the current period weighted indices are called what? Per share indices. Here are the formulae now. Let me just give the denominations. PN, what it means. PN, this is the price of what? Of current year. Okay. Current period or current year. You're following, eh?
Yes.
And then P naught, it is a price of what? Of the base year. The base year is that previous year. Okay. There's some year in some, it's just some year in the past, in short. That's the base year. Then QN, okay. QN is a quantity in the current what? Current year. I think that's what you need to know. You need to know the denominations of the formula. And then the Q0 is the quantity in the previous what? Year.
Yeah.
Okay. In the base year, not the previous. It can be, let's just say base year. Okay. So the quantity of the
Yes.
base year and the price of the base year. Did
Yes.
you get that? So for example, now,
Yes.
when you are dealing with a last year's index for prices, last year's price index, you are going to sum. This means summation, meaning adding. So you'll be multiplying the price of the new period, which can be that new year, the year ahead, okay, times the corresponding quantity of the odd what? Of the odd year, the quantity of some odd. You're getting that, right?
Yes.
Yes. You multiply the two. And then you keep on summing because you have different quantities and different prices since the goods are made, as you're going to see in the example. So you have to sum them up. You have to keep on multiplying the price times the quantity plus again the price of some other good times the quantity of the other good, just like that. That's how you sum. Okay? Did you get that?
Yes.
The denominator is summation of P naught times the Q naught, which simply means you're multiplying what? The price of the odd what? The odd period times the
Yes.
price of the times the quantity of the odd what? Period. So it's just odd. The denominator is about odd. Base. No odd is the base here. Multiply the price of that year and the quantity of that year. Multiply them, the corresponding quantities. Okay. So similarly, obviously here, even for quantities, for when it comes to what's this? When it comes to last year's quantity index, you'll be multiplying this quantity. Qn is you are summing up the quantity n times the price is 0 first over what? Over quantity 0 times the price is 0. So that is to say, times the price 0. That is to say, you're multiplying, okay? Let's say you're multiplying the quantities for the new period times the price of the what? The odd period. P0, I said, is the price of the base year. You're multiplying, then you sum them up and you divide by the quantities of the odd period times the prices of the odd period. You divide, then what you get is the last year's quantity index. Did you get that?
Can you explain that again?
Okay, I was saying QN is a quantity of the new period. For example, you have got 2 years, as you're going to see, 2010 and 2012. Right? So you can have the quantity of mango in 2010 and the price of mango, right? And again in
Yes.
2012, you have the price of mango and the quantity of mango in 2012, right? Those are 2 different years and the goods are the same, but the quantities are different and prices. So now, QN is the quantity in 2012, then P naught is the price of that same corresponding good in 2010. Did you get that? If we are looking at mango, for example, we'll look at the
Sir,
quantity of mango today. How much is mango? Like a quantity. Then times the price. The price we'll use for the other period, we'll ask you, okay, how much
excuse me.
was mango in terms of price? Hello?
Hello. My phone isn't very good with the battery. It's on 7% right now, so it's going to go off any minute, sir.
I'm finishing actually in the next 3 minutes because I'm just showing you an example.
Okay.
Can it stand the next 3 minutes or 2?
I don't think so, because it really goes. It's reached 3 right now.
Oh, okay, it's
Yes.
fine. I'll continue recording. I'll send you the recording.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. So that's what usually happens. Okay. Then when it comes to per share index as well, that's the same. The per share price index is given as the summation of the price n quantity n or over the summation of price naught, which is the price of the previous period, times the quantity of the new what? The new period. Okay. Having said all that, then the Fisher's index is actually the square root of the two indices. You square root the last year's price index times the per share price index. The square root of the per share price index and the last year's index is what gives us the Fisher's price index. The Fisher price what? Price index. Okay. An example is doing better. And let's look at this. So we have 2 years, just as I said, you have 2011 and 2012. Prices for 20, or the units, that's the quantity. The unit, by the way, same unit price is the price for the goods, and the quantities for the goods, right? So these goods are good A, good B, good C. So in some books, you find the names of this list can either be mango, bananas, fruits, or any goods, names of the goods. So you are given also here in 2012, the same good, okay? It has got its quantity in 2012, unit price, it has got its price and its own quantity. So the question is, can you calculate the last PS, the per share, and the Fisher's index? Then you interpret the results, okay? Interpret the results. So check what. First of all, you need to come up with the columns for those parameters. We know the formulas, right? For example, for last year's price index is given as what? Pn times what? Q naught over what? Let me use the blue marker so I'll clarify it down. Over P naught and Q what? Q naught. This is the last year's index. So you need the column for Pn, price of the new year, times a quantity for the other year. Okay, that is Pn, price of the new year times the quantity of the other year. So how do you get this column? So you're multiplying new year price times the quantity of the other year. How do you do that? New year price times the quantity of the other year. So you go back to here of saying new year price, which is this price, the price for 2012, times the quantity of the other year, which is this is the price of the same good, So you say, you will say, to get that top part, you say 500 times what? 40. Plus you go to good B. Good B will be 45. This is the price of the new period, or PN if you want, times the Q naught, which is this one. So it'll be 45 times 310, again plus 50 times 200 and what? 50. You add everything. You're just adding them together. That's what PN means. Then the other column that you have is the column for Q naught and P what? P naught, meaning you're multiplying the quantities of the previous period times the what? The prices of the previous period. Quantity times the quantity of the previous period, which is this, the quantities, these are the quantities of the previous period of 2011 in short. 2011 is the previous period. So quantities for 2011 times the prices for 2011. So you can have 500 times what? 35 plus 310 times what now? 37 plus 250 times what? 250 times 40, like that. That's the Q0, Qn. So you keep on multiplying. The next parameter that you need is for Qn P what? P naught, meaning new quantity now times the odd price. New quantity times the odd price. The new quantity is here. The new quantities are quantities for 2012. So you say 750 times the corresponding price, the odd price for 750. The price for 2011, see, 35 for good A. We go to good B, the new quantity will be 600 for 2012 times the price will be 37 for the other period, plus again 290 times the forward 40, just like that. So you are multiplying and it will give you this column for Qn with sum everything. So in short, you're just coming up with the columns, you're summing up. And as you sum up these columns, you get to now divide, just compute into the formula. So you can have this column for the prices of the new period times the quantities of the odd period. Then you have the column for the price of the odd period times the quantities of the odd period. The column for the prices of the new period times the quantities of the new period. This is the column. So we mean the new period, we mean 2012. So prices of 2012 times the quantities of 2012. That's it. Then here we are talking about the prices of what? 2011 times the quantities of 2012. This is it. You sum up everything, you have these parameters. And then you substitute into the formulas. In the last year's index, you substitute, you get that. So you get 119.19 minus 100. You should always subtract 100 from your answer. So you find the answer of positive what? Positive 19. Positive 19.07. This means that using the current quantities, prices have increased by what? By 19%, because the number is positive, right? The number that you found is positive. So it is an increase. So that, oh, sorry for this one. The odd quantities have increased, is positive. Then you go to last year's in the per share index as well. You substitute the parameters into the formula, and then your answer that you find, okay, you remove what? 100. So you find that using the current quantity prices, the prices have increased by what? By 1907 again, from 2011 to 2012. It's an increase, or it's a positive. So just say 119.07 minus what? 100. So whatever remains, that is an increase. Then to find the Fisher's price index, you just square root the product of the two indices, 119.19 times 119.07. The square root thereof is the answer for last year's index. So you square root per share index, the Spears index. Then when you square root them, you get Fisher's price index. Okay. The interpretation of the Fisher's price index shall be both odd and current quantities or price have increased by what? By 19%. 0.3% from 2012. So the way of treating it as well is the same. Any questions? So the indices are used to measure the business and economic conditions. They are used to measure the cost of living. They are used to measure countries' economic growth and measure the competitiveness